In today's video, we're going to be breaking down the current conditions. We're going to be going over some upcoming patterns, some storms. We're also going to be going over the severe weather and some upcoming snowfall. Let's get straight into this video though, and first things first, we're taking a look at our current radar imagery. And as you can see, we do have quite a bit of storminess going on in this corridor here. This is leading towards some snowfall going on, or better yet, thunderstorms. Where's my mind right now? Thunderstorms going on in this area here. We do have some showers going on in the northeast and even some thunderstorms down there in southern Florida. We got to go over all of this. Let's just take a look here at the northwest, and we'll break down the southwest and move further eastward from there. You can tell that it is quieter in this corridor. This is an area that usually has some sort of precipitation going on, and there's only some isolated showers in here, so it's actually a little bit more dry than what is typical. Now, to the east of this region, kind of east of the Rockies and over the Rockies, we do have some precipitation building into here. That does include some pockets of snowfall and some pockets of rainfall throughout all of these regions. So you're going to get a little bit of both depending on your elevation. So if you're in a higher elevation area, we're going to have more snowfall, lower elevation, more rainfall, obviously. Now, as we move towards the southwest, we can see actually a lot of precipitation down here. So for all of these regions here, we have a lot of precipitation going on. Even Los Angeles seeing some heavier showers. A lot of California seeing heavier showers. And then Sierra Nevada's here. We see heavy snowfall ongoing in this region. Nothing that isn't very typical during storminess. We see a lot of snowfall going on in here for Nevada, Utah, and Idaho as well. And then rainfall again for the lower elevation regions. Just want to take a look down here at Los Angeles because we did have these rainfall showers coming through. Anytime you see Los Angeles getting rainfall, let alone heavy rainfall, it is something worth noting for sure, I would say. So Southern California, they're getting quite a bit of that precipitation. Let's go ahead and move up, and we're going to take a look at these storms up here. We'll take a look at it in two halves. Let's take a look at the northern half first off, and we do have some snowfall. Just depends where you're at, mostly in northern Minnesota and northern North Dakota. And we also have some thunderstorms building in, actually some stronger thunderstorms building in for southern North Dakota there, and then northern South Dakota. Mostly in here, they really built in, as you can see. And some of those looked quite intense, I will say. Now, as we move further south, we've also had some pretty intense storms here. We can see a line developing throughout here, and this is pushing kind of northeast. But south of that line, we do have these pretty decent thunderstorms that have been building in for this corridor as well. And we've had some severe thunderstorms along this as well. So this is where we're also seeing some severe weather at the moment. Let's move up into the northeast. We do have some showers just racing across the region here. So these are kind of moving in this type of a motion. And they will be kind of out of the picture by later on today. So that's just going to be going on for a little while. That will be kind of moving out and coming to a close here throughout the morning and afternoon hours. Then for southern Florida, we do have some showers moving across from east to west. I've noticed that this area in particular does get this. Oftentimes, southern Florida does get this west to east or east to west flow here, where they're moving onshore from the Atlantic into the Miami area and areas south of Miami. So those are little isolated thunderstorms, might be pretty intense. That's how they go down there, kind of. So be on the watch out for that. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to move on, and we're going to focus in on the upcoming pattern where we have multiple big storms, even an upcoming potential blizzard as well. So multiple snowfall events and multiple severe weather events. And then we're going to be breaking down the temperature pattern as well. Now, here we are taking a look at the upcoming pattern. We can see that there is this storminess here in the western United States. And as time moves on, this really just intensifies. We see the jet stream is doing about like this because we know there's going to be a big warm-up in the east for quite a while here. Today is Friday, so we're seeing the beginning of this take place. We see that a lot of this type of flow is happening. A lot of the cold is heading out west. So this is what's going on, and this is the beginning of that big snowstorm as this low, because all this energy here kind of moves further east, and it just bottles up into a 984 low pressure system right here. So it's probably moved in about like this, and then it's going to move up like this. So we're going to see a flow about like that, and we're going to see a ton of snowfall back here on this western end, and then a ton of severe weather here on the southern end of things. So let's just watch this play out. We see this really big snowstorm developing here. Very similar area to that big one we saw about a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago. 983 millibar low pressure center there. We have a cold front dangling down, warm front up there, and really the flow is looking like this. Again, jet stream follows through with this for the most part usually, so we're going to see a jet stream about like this. So a really strong ridge around the low pressure system and to the east of the low pressure system, and then a really strong trough to the west of that low pressure system. Let's continue this on. We can see that snowstorm moves up. This is obviously a very intense storm. Snowstorm moves up about right here. Cold front moves down to about right here. So in here, we're seeing quite a bit of severe weather throughout these days. This is going to be about Sunday, so this is in 2 days. So let's break it down. Saturday, big snowstorm going on. Sunday, it's coming to a close. We have more severe weather ongoing for this region here. This is as we're approaching Monday. That storm has moved up, and we see this cold front really coming through still. So this is going to be bringing thunderstorms still with it. This is Monday evening. Then as we reach Tuesday afternoon, we can see the cold front's about here. So you can expect still a pretty warm day here to the east of that cold front. So that's Tuesday during the day. And then during the evening on Tuesday, heading into early on Wednesday, we're going to see that thunderstorm and shower activity reach the eastern seaboard. And this is really when the jet stream is going to look like this. So this trough is going to be trying to center itself over the east. And it will eventually center itself over the east by the time we're reaching about Thursday time frame. So later next week, April 28th. Here's Friday, April 29th. We get another snowstorm in here. And what I've kind of noticed is this storm that shows up here on the model wants to pull this trough down in the west. This is oftentimes how we see this start out. And then what's going to happen is this warm up actually works its way back east. So this could be our next big pattern change again. Look at that. Another major snowstorm out here. So that's worth noting as well. 992 millibar low pressure center there, very strong low. And what ends up happening is I think a lot of this colder energy is out here, and then we see a ridge in the east. So that's about what I'm looking at by May 1st, May 2nd time frame. So let's go ahead first off and move on and take a look at that total snowfall here. And let's just move this all the way to the end of the model run. And this is generally what we're taking a look at. There will be some snowfall for the higher elevation areas in the east, upper Midwest, also seeing a tiny bit of snowfall. But really, obviously, we're taking a look at mostly the Cascades, Sierra Nevadas, and then the Rockies and some of the surrounding higher elevation regions. But that is where we're mostly taking a look at snowfall over the next 10 days. So again, today, April 22nd, all the way through May 2nd, this is the look. Okay, so I'm just going to break down the color codes here. Grays are going to be a dusting, if anything. Blues will be 2 to 6 inches of snowfall. Purples will be 6 to 10. Pinks will be 10 to 20. Your pastel blues are going to be your 20 to 30 inch amounts. And then your pastel purples, which we see some of this for Montana, North Dakota, and a little bit of south central Canada there. That is where we're going to be taking a look at 30 to even 48 inches plus going on here. So we see a lot of that for these mountainous regions. And this is over the course of 2 major snowstorms out here in the west. So definitely an interesting scenario taking place. Let's go ahead and move on, though, and take a look at the upcoming temperature pattern. So here we are taking a look at it. We can tell there's a lot of cold air present around the west, mostly associated with this storminess that's going on in these regions. So that's getting pulled further and further down. This warm-up is going to be trending further east, and all this cold air that is in place for the east is going to kind of just lift off. So that's kind of, everything moves from west to east typically, except if you're in southern Florida. We saw that in the beginning of the video. But as far as temperature patterns and a lot of these low pressure systems across the United States, they might head a little bit northward. They might even creep a little bit westward. They might creep southward. But in general, everything is flowing from west to east almost all of the time, if not staying nearly stationary. So watch the flow. Cold builds into the west, warm is pushing further eastward, and we're seeing a jet stream about like this right here, trying to dig a little bit of a trough still in the eastern United States, but this warm-up is rapidly racing into the east. This is the high temperatures tomorrow on Saturday, April 23rd. We also see a lot of cold air bottled up in here, and everything's, again, moving further eastward as we approach the high temperatures on Sunday. We do get a little bit of a west coast ridge. But in general, this is what the jet stream is looking like. Mostly this trough heading in like this, but it is, again, trending further eastward. I can't emphasize that enough. Warm air is working its way in ahead of the cold front that's probably about right there. Low is probably about right here by this point. And then we're going to see these areas out west trending warmer and the cold trending further and further east. This is the high temperatures on Monday. We can see it's pretty exclusive for the eastern United States with those warm temperatures. But jet stream is kind of in a horseshoe pattern by this point. Again, cold forcing its way down, but this is trending further east every single day. Lots of warm air ahead of the cold front. Could bring some minor severe weather impacts. That kind of remains to be known. We do have some cold air. This is a really confusing jet stream pattern. This is like, you can't even, basically by this point, it's probably pretty flat, the jet stream, I would imagine. We have a lot of cold air up here. We have mostly warmth in the south. We do have some pockets of cooler air, so it might be something like like this, but it's gonna get itself figured out. And we see that by the time we're reaching the high temperatures on Thursday, it looks a little bit more of a pattern we can decipher here. We see cold air in the east, cold air in the west, and then warmth here for the central United States. But as this low that we pointed out is going to be heading in late April, this warm up we should see basically what we're about to see happen in the next couple of days that I showed a couple of minutes ago. We should see that happen all over again. This progression, the cold diving into the west, the warmth pushing further east, and this cold in the east pushing out. We should see that happen eventually. So we sort of see it moving further east by this point. Lots of cold air bottled up in here. It's April 30th, May 1st. So here it is. It's arriving for the east. We see mostly a jet stream that looks like this. A little mini trough in the east, a big trough in the west, and then the ridge is heading further and further eastward. And here's the end of the model run, so we can't really tell you any further than this. But stay tuned daily as we're going to be breaking down the upcoming pattern every single day like we have been since about, I think December. We've been doing this style of video. And we're just going to be breaking down every single day. So just stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe if you want more weather-related content. Let's go ahead and dive into the severe weather threat over the next couple of days, though. Here's the day one categorical outlook, and this is actually the worst of the 3 upcoming severe weather days. We have a large general thunderstorm risk there indicated by the lighter green, and that is where severe weather is not expected, but expect the unexpected. Anything is possible. Our darker green area is our marginal risk, and that is where isolated severe weather is expected. The yellow area is our slight risk area, and that is where scattered severe weather is expected. And then we have our orange region there for the panhandle of Texas, panhandle of Oklahoma, and all the way up through Kansas and Nebraska. That is where we expect more widespread severe weather to be possible there throughout those central states of the United States. Let's take a look at those individual outlooks, and this is all based on 25 miles of a given location here. But in the green region there, we have a 5% chance of damaging wind. Again, within 25 miles of a given location, so that's not a 5% chance of damaging wind happening in that entire region. It's based within 25 miles of a given location, so there's obviously thousands of 25-mile radiuses within that green region, so you can kind of go over the probabilities. There's, in all likelihood, there's going to be damaging wind. 15% chance there in the yellow, and then a 30% chance there in the red. That's for our enhanced risk. We have a large hail risk as well. We have a 5% chance there in the green. We have a 15% chance there in the yellow, and then we have a 30% chance there in the red. But we also have a hatched area there on the southern end of things, and that's where 2-inch diameter or larger hail is expected to be possible. So we're going to have to be on the lookout for very large hail here today, again, Friday, April 22nd. And then the tornado outlook here, we have a 2% chance there in the green, and then a 5% chance there in the 2 brown regions. Let's go ahead and move on to day 2, though. And we do have a few general thunderstorm risks here, one for northern Montana, one there for northern Colorado, and then one there for southern Florida, and then the one that stretches here from Mexico all the way up to Canada. You can tell this is going to be associated with that cold front that's going to line up like this and roll through. That's why it's shaped the way it is, because it's going to stretch from Mexico to Canada. We can see that there is a marginal risk within there where, again, isolated severe weather is expected. And then we also have the slight risk here where scattered severe weather is expected. So that is what we're going to be able to look out for. We do have individual outlooks for this date as well. So let's take a look at that. First off, damaging wind, again, all based on 25 miles of a given location. We have a 5% chance there in the green, and then a 15% chance there within the yellow. For hail, it's the same thing, except we've kind of clipped off the eastern half there of that yellow region. So we have the 5% in the brown or in the green again, and then we have a 15% chance there in the yellow again. Then for the tornado outlook here, we have a 2% chance there within the green, and then a 5% chance there within the 2 brown regions. So again, we're going to have to just watch out for those potential tornadoes as well. Day 3 categorical outlook, we have 2 general thunderstorm risks, one there for southern Florida again, and then one there stretching from Mexico and Texas all the way up through the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes and as well as Canada. That's where we have a very large general thunderstorm risk, and we also have a marginal risk within there where, again, isolated severe weather is expected within that darker green region. Unfortunately, for day 3, we do not have the kind of individual outlook, so we're going to have to just skip that for day 3. But tomorrow we will have those for day 3, which is going to be Sunday, April 24th. So we will have those as of tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we've moved up to a 5 out of 6 because everything's happening so soon here. So we are at a 5 out of 6 at this point. I told you guys yesterday that we would eventually move up to a 5 out of 6, and sure enough, here we are. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons: Bill Craich, James Wade, Dovin Nagel, Larry the Pan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I would also like to thank our diamond patrons: Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harlemuck, Kudalessa, Catbite, Charles Dennett, Bill Dallas, Garys, and John Khaleesi also. I'd also like to thank our channel members: Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.